Perfidy and slander. What has an individual gained by losing his own self-respect? Or what has he lost when, retaining his own, he loses the homage of fools, or the pretentious praise of hypocrites, false to themselves as to others? Shakespeare, the immortal lexicographer of mortals, writes, "To thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day. Thou canst not then be false to any man." When Aristotle was asked what a person could gain by uttering a falsehood, he replied, "Not to be credited when he shall tell the truth." The character of a liar and hypocrite is so contemptible that even of those who have lost their honor, it might be expected that from the violation of truth they should be restrained by their pride. Perfidy of an inferior quality, such as manages to evade the law, and which dignified natures cannot stoop to notice except legally, disgraces human nature more than do most vices. Slander is a midnight robber, the red-tongued assassin of radical worth, the conservative swindler who sells himself in a traffic by which he can gain nothing. It can retire for forgiveness to no fraternity where its crime may stand in the place of a virtue, but must at length be given up to the hisses of the multitude without friend and without apologist. Law has found it necessary to offer to the innocent security from slanderers, those pests of society, when their crime comes within its jurisdiction. Thus, to evade the penalty of law, and yet with malice aforethought, to extend their evil intent, is the nice distinction by which they endeavor to get their weighty stuff into the hands of gossip. Some uncharitable one may give it a forward move, and ere that one himself become aware, find himself responsible for kind endeavors. Would that my pen or pity could raise these weak, pitifully poor objects from their choice of self-degradation to the nobler purposes and wider aims of a life made honest, a life in which the fresh flowers of feeling blossom, and like the chamomile, the more trampled upon, the sweeter the odor they send forth to benefit mankind. A life wherein calm, self-respected thoughts abide in tabernacles of their own, dwelling upon a holy hill, speaking the truth in the heart. A life wherein the mind can rest in green pastures, beside the still waters, on isles of sweet refreshment. The sublime summary of an honest life satisfies the mind craving a higher good and bathes it in the cool waters of peace on earth, till it grows into the full stature of wisdom, reckoning its own by the amount of happiness it has bestowed upon others. Not to avenge oneself upon one's enemies is the command of almighty wisdom, and we take this to be a safer guide than the promptings of human nature. To know that a deception, dark as it is base, has been practiced upon thee by those deemed at least indebted friends, whose welfare thou hast promoted, and yet not to avenge thyself, is to do good to thyself, is to take a new standpoint whence to look upward, is to be calm amid excitement, just amid lawlessness, and pure amid corruption. To be a great man or woman, to have a name whose odor fills the world with its fragrance, is to bear with patience the buffetings of envy or malice, even while seeking to raise those barren natures to a capacity for a higher life. We should look with pitying eye on the momentary success of all villainies, on mad ambition, and low revenge. This will bring us also to look on a kind, true, and just person, faithful to conscience, and honest beyond reproach, as the only suitable fabric out of which to weave an existence fit for earth and heaven.